Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel, where I share with you some insights and tips on everyday psychology. Today, I want to talk to you about a very common and very harmful habit that many of us have: comparing ourselves to others. We all do it from time to time, right? We scroll through our social media feeds and see people who seem to have it all: the perfect body, the perfect job, the perfect relationship, the perfect life. And we feel inadequate, envious, or even depressed. We wonder why we can't be like them, why we don't have what they have, why we are not good enough. But here's the thing: comparing ourselves to others is not only unfair, but also unrealistic. And it can have serious negative consequences for our mental health and well-being. In this video, I'm going to explain why people compare themselves to others, why it is bad for us, and how we can stop doing it. So let's get started. Why do people compare themselves to others? According to social comparison theory, people compare themselves to others in order to evaluate themselves and their abilities. This is a natural and normal human behavior that helps us learn from others, adapt to our environment, and achieve our goals. For example, if you want to improve your fitness, you might compare yourself to someone who is more fit than you and try to emulate their habits or routines. This is called upward social comparison, and it can be motivating and inspiring if done in a healthy way. However, sometimes we compare ourselves to others who are better off than us in areas that we care about or that are important for our self-esteem. For example, if you are unhappy with your appearance, you might compare yourself to someone who is more attractive than you and feel inferior or dissatisfied. This is also called upward social comparison, but it can be detrimental and discouraging if done in an excessive or obsessive way. Another type of social comparison is downward social comparison, which is when we compare ourselves to others who are worse off than us in order to feel better about ourselves or our situation. For example, if you are struggling with money, you might compare yourself to someone who is poorer than you and feel grateful or relieved. This can be beneficial and comforting if done occasionally and compassionately. However, sometimes we compare ourselves to others who are worse off than us in areas that we don't care about or that are irrelevant for our self-esteem. For example, if you are insecure about your intelligence, you might compare yourself to someone who is less smart than you and feel superior or smug. This is also called downward social comparison, but it can be harmful and arrogant if done frequently and maliciously. Why is comparing ourselves to others bad for us? Comparing ourselves to others can be bad for us for several reasons. 1. It can distort our perception of reality. When we compare ourselves to others, we often focus on their strengths and our weaknesses, or vice versa. We ignore the fact that everyone has their own flaws and challenges, as well as their own talents and achievements. We also forget that people tend to present themselves in a favorable way on social media or in public, hiding their struggles or failures. This can create a false impression that they are better or worse than they really are, and that we are better or worse than we really are. 2. It can lower our self-esteem and self-confidence. When we compare ourselves to others who are better off than us in areas that matter to us, we can feel inadequate, envious, or depressed. We can start to doubt our abilities and worth, and lose sight of our own goals and values. We can also develop a sense of resentment or hostility towards those who have what we want or think we deserve. 3. It can increase our stress and anxiety. When we compare ourselves to others who are worse off than us in areas that don't matter to us, we can feel superior, smug, or complacent. We can start to take things for granted and neglect our own growth and development. We can also develop a sense of fear or guilt towards those who have less than we have or need our help. 4. It can interfere with our happiness and satisfaction. When we compare ourselves to others, we often base our happiness and satisfaction on external factors that are beyond our control or influence. We depend on how we measure up against others, rather than how we feel about ourselves. We let others define our success and worth, rather than defining them for ourselves. We also miss out on the joy of appreciating what we have and celebrating what we achieve. How can we stop comparing ourselves to others? The good news is that there are some effective ways to stop comparing ourselves to others and start living a more fulfilling and authentic life. Here are some tips. 1. Identify your triggers and avoid them. As I mentioned earlier, pay attention to the people or events that prompt your comparative behavior. Do you feel discontent with your life after looking at luxury goods? Is there someone who constantly makes you feel bad about yourself? Write down your comparative thoughts as soon as they happen so you can limit your exposure to these situations. 2. Write down your positive traits. When you minimize your abilities, it becomes easier to compare yourself to others. You might focus on their strengths and ignore your own completely. To avoid this negative behavior, make a list of your strengths and talents, whether it's being a good listener or having a great sense of style. By acknowledging your best qualities, you can learn to love yourself and boost your self-esteem. 3. Set screen time limits for your social media. Social media can be a great way to connect with others and share your interests, but it can also be a source of comparison and envy. To minimize your comparative thoughts, set screen time limits for your social media apps or websites, or mute accounts that make you feel behind in life. You can also use apps or extensions that block or hide certain content from your feed, such as ads, likes, or comments. 4. Practice gratitude. One of the best ways to stop comparing yourself to others is to practice gratitude for what you have and who you are. Gratitude can help you focus on the positive aspects of your life, rather than the negative ones. It can also help you appreciate the people and things that make you happy, rather than the ones that make you unhappy. To practice gratitude, you can keep a gratitude journal, write thank you notes, or express your appreciation verbally or non-verbally. 5. Set realistic and meaningful goals. Another way to stop comparing yourself to others is to set realistic and meaningful goals for yourself that reflect your own values and aspirations. Goals can help you focus on your own progress and achievements, rather than on others. They can also help you challenge yourself and grow as a person, rather than stagnate or regress. To set realistic and meaningful goals, you can use the SMART criteria: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. 6. Celebrate your successes and learn from your failures. Finally, one more way to stop comparing yourself to others is to celebrate your successes and learn from your failures. Successes and failures are both part of life, and they both offer valuable lessons and opportunities for improvement. Rather than comparing your successes and failures to those of others, you can acknowledge them as milestones in your own journey. You can also share them with supportive people who will cheer you on or help you out. To wrap up, I want to remind you that there is simply no need to compare yourself to anyone else, because you are already unique and amazing. You have your own strengths and weaknesses, your own goals and values, your own experiences and achievements. You are not better or worse than anyone else, you are just different. And that's okay. That's what makes you special. So instead of wasting your time and energy on comparing yourself to others, why not spend it on improving yourself and enjoying yourself? Why not focus on your own journey, rather than on someone else's destination? Why not celebrate your own successes, rather than envy someone else's? Remember, the only person you should compare yourself to is yourself. And the only person you should try to be better than is the person you were yesterday. That way, you will always be moving forward, not backward. You will always be growing, not shrinking. You will always be happy, not sad. So stop comparing yourself to others, and start loving yourself for who you are. Because you are awesome. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. I hope you found this video helpful and informative. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos on everyday psychology. And don't forget to leave a comment below. Do you compare yourself to others? How do you cope with it? I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.